Hello, Steve. You there?
I'm here. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Yeah, I wasn't sure when we were supposed to meet back up, but no one was in the SIG yesterday, and I can't remember if Andrea said we were gonna be here in January or not. But since
Yeah,
since we're both here, we might as well do the usual. But yeah, I saw that you still have your PR as well, so
yeah. I
um
still got to get in there and update it with the diagram.
gotcha.
So that's okay that PR's out there. And I don't have much. I gotta get back into the swing of things myself. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Give me 1 second here. This is not the right thing. Um, yeah, I'm just pulling up all the docs here. Okay, that should be good. Zoom, share, and this one, share. All right, cool. Do this. Ah. All right. So yeah, how's your New Year's, by the way, and Christmas? Was it nice and easy?
good. Weird. Having it in the middle of the week for both of them. So you know,
Gotcha. Right.
it was like visitors coming,
Uh,
going, and family and stuff like that. And then
right.
it's I always like it when it's like on a Thursday or Friday, so you get the long weekends and not have to jump back for a couple days.
Right. Makes sense. All right. Let me 1 sec logging in now and two-factor auth. Uh, uh, all right. Once this approves, then I can sign into GitHub and log back into this. All right, that should now be good. I swear I had Vim, like a Vim mode on this. Was there not a Vim mode? I swear there was. Um, okay, let me reshare my screen. Zoom, share. Okay. Um, close this window and then let's add the new date to January 7th, 2025. All right. Let's copy this. And also bring up the PR as well, so we can at least just take a look. I know you said you haven't looked at it yet or added to it, but I think yeah, we just had the one PR, and then I think I have the one issue of modeling language considerations.
Yep.
Um, okay, so that's one thing that I did want to talk about, but I wanted to see if David was going to be here, but it looks like he's not. So, modeling considerations, choices. So, to kind of give you an update on that, Steve. So, I don't know if I know you were in the past meetings, but like a little bit of the context is we've been looking for potentially replacing JSON scheme, well, not really replacing JSON scheme, but just seeing if there's other ways of either A, generating the JSON schema in a more maintainable way, or B, completely replacing it. So that's kind of like what we're thinking about.
Right.
And I demoed Pickle,
Yep.
which allows you to generate JSON schema, and David was able to demo Open API, which both seem very promising. And I think we can use both solutions in conjunction with one another. And what I mean by that is some of our conformance tests still need to be written in JSON schema because that is the protocol that we use. And so we can probably actually, do we need, is that true? Maybe not. So that might need to be thought about. But there's some places where we still use JSON, or for instance, we use YAML, et cetera, et cetera. We can still use pickle. So I think there's a lot of benefit there. So some considerations. Um, this is my line of thinking. Can opt to use both Open API and pickle to their sprint. So pickle is good for generating tests, configurations, etc. While Open API is good for generating models for the SDKs. So that's kind
So,
of like, yeah.
so which one would come first?
So I think what we want to do is we probably want to do Open API in a more incrementing manner, because that's more large scale. But I think we can kind of do both at the same time, because I think these are solving kind of two completely different problems. Um, where Pickle is solving more of like making the tests easier to generate and the configurations, as opposed to Open APIs just generating the models. So Pickle, we could probably do in one PR and get that done and over with. But Open API, we might need to come at it from more of a granular approach. Is my thinking. Um, so that's kind of my line. That's kind of my thought process. And we need to be very careful. I know when David was talking, he said that there was going to be some breaking changes, but I want to highlight what all those breaking changes are, because we need to first A, document them, or B, figure out a way to kind of bypass them. So, what you can do with Open API, we can use like custom generators for specifically for like CD events if we need to write a custom like wrapper around one where it kind of like massages the generated output to fit what we generate today, so we don't diverge too far where it makes it a pain for other people that are already adopting the SDK. So but that's kind of the plan. Is Open API is going to be more of an incremented process, while Pickle is probably just going to be a one single PR that just replaces all the tests with Pickle
Right.
and configurations.
Yeah. So my thought process would be um, that, like you said, maybe do an intermediary um, massage of the model.
Hmm.
And what I would do is I would flag that as being deprecated.
Yeah.
Um, that way, within the next uh, release or two, we can then start moving away from the deprecated, um, you know, old stuff, and eventually throw away the data massager or whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, the model massager, so we could then get 100% on Open API, and then in a couple releases down the road. And when I talk releases, point releases, not necessarily
Yeah.
full
Yeah.
full releases. But I think that way, as long as we don't put a lot of time into the model massager, and
Hmm.
it's a quick and dirty way to bridge the gap for supporting those deprecated models or parts of the model, that would
Hmm.
be the way I would vote to go. That way, once we get away from that and onto a full open API, I think going forward, doing incremental releases will be a lot cleaner and easier.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That
agree.
that makes sense?
Yeah, yeah, I think it makes total sense. And I think that's probably the right path forward, because like I said, like the biggest concern right now is breaking changes. We know people are using these SDKs, and we don't want to diverge too far. And I think from the sounds of it, due to how Java is a pretty complex language, and unfortunately, there's like inheritance and all that, and unfortunately how Open API deals with inheritance, generates the models completely different? Well, why does it generate models completely different? Well, because we all have our own, we have custom generators for each of the SDKs. So that's kind of the main issue. So because we kind of decided like what our models look like, that kind of like put us in a corner there
Yeah,
for
yeah,
choosing something.
and you got to start somewhere, so it makes total
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I like this idea. Kind of like having the middleware to kind of like lessen the blow for people to adopt, and then slowly move away from the as we move forward. So I think that's a good plan. Um,
And
cool.
and that middleware shouldn't be anything fancy. It should be, like I said, get us all, get us around this for the next couple point releases, and that way we can eventually just throw it away as once we get off of and truly um, move those deprecated models out of the way, down the road.
Yeah. Releases. Okay, I'm gonna highlight this because we definitely want to do this as a goal is to move away from it
Yeah,
as
I
soon as
think the goal
possible.
should be to like you said, move away from it.
Yeah, yeah, because we definitely don't want to support more code than we need to, and this middleware would definitely be code that we would need to support. And yes, I think that's a really good call out. Okay, cool. I really like that. Um, so with that said, what I will do then is I will create a few GitHub issues, kind of outlining what we talked about.
Yep,
And I'll start the PR for Pickle, and do that one because, like I said, that could be a single PR. We don't have to worry about it because that's not a breaking change. That's just a single PR.
yep.
And then we can talk with everyone to see what if anyone's available to kind of take. I know David's pretty available, so he'll probably start a lot of work on the open API stuff, especially since he demoed it. He already has a lot of that code already working. So if he can like put that up to a branch where we can like kind of like pick things and then kind of start playing around with it, try to get more people to contribute because like this is going to be a pretty big effort. And the more people that we have helping can definitely speed up the process. Obviously, uh
And it will be interesting to see how far once he actually does have a firm PR out there and generating a model, how far off
it
the
is,
model
yeah.
is from the current one. So if it's, I know he demoed it, and I know he knows. I know he knows what the differences are, but just so it's kind of exposed to everybody else and documented. That way we can figure out what the next steps are for creating that middleware.
Yeah, yeah. Issue for divergence in open API generation versus what we have. Versus what
I
we
mean,
have.
for all we know, it could be a simple shell script to go and update the model.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I
you,
need.
you never
Yeah,
know. Just
yeah,
depends on
yeah,
how far the models have diverged in the couple places that they will.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think the big thing that he mentioned was like field names. I think was field names, and there was another thing with like inheritance. So I think we could probably figure something out, to kind of, work around that. But yeah, but like field names, we could probably, like that's easy, just like a easy replace there. But yeah, so yeah, so I like that. So I'll create three issues I highlighted here. One for Pickle, one for Open API, and then one for the divergence and kind of illustrate, this is what a model looks like generating. This is what we have today, and these are the differences, and try to pick a model that has like kind of everything like enums,
Yeah.
inheritance, et cetera. So okay, cool. I definitely like that. Sounds like we have a good plan. um and I will have to talk internally about getting this pickle PR, but like if I can get to that in the next like couple weeks is my goal, and see if I can get that approved to push out externally, then I can have that hopefully done sooner rather than later. But yeah, I'll talk to my manager today, but I think that's something we can definitely push forward with. Um, but yeah, I'll definitely create these three issues. And then in terms of your PR, because I know it's been open for a little bit. I know we had some diagrams.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's some diagrams floating around. I just got to incorporate them in. I just haven't.
hmm.
I got to swing around, get my head back into it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And then what we can do, then Steve, for the next meeting, what I want to do is because I don't want to have these PRs just kind of hanging. What we can do is we can make half the well, probably it'll be like roughly half, but roughly half to being about generating the modeling link because after I create the GitHub issue, like there's gonna be more to talk about there. But we can discuss like the modeling languages, et cetera, et cetera. And then the other half, I want to actually kind of go over your PR and kind of like talk about it and try to get this merged in, hopefully by end of January, early February. That's kind of the goal. So
That sounds good.
okay. Let's see if I can make this a milestone. If not, I will um create January. Yeah, I'll just call it end of January goal or something like that. Like that. Yeah, I'll just do that for now. End of January. Okay, cool. Um, and then yeah, let's shoot for that. And if you're okay with dedicating half the meeting next week, if you're okay and comfortable talking about your PR in a group setting, then that should make it easier to kind of like get all the, everything out in from just words to verbal speech. So like if you have any questions or whatnot, it'll be easier to kind of like communicate those as opposed to like a back and forth on GitHub, which I know can take a little bit of time to get some responses. So
Yep,
um
that
so
sounds like a
yeah.
plan.
Okay, cool, cool. Was there anything else? Because I know it's a new year and like we've all been out for a little bit, so I didn't really have too much planned for today. I just mostly wanted to talk about the modeling languages
Yep.
and kind of go over your PR, but was there anything else that you needed?
No, I think I'm good for now.
Okay, cool. Well, okay, as always, Steve, thank you. It's always good to see you.
Yep,
And yeah, and I'll see you in the next couple of weeks and we'll go over your PR then, all right?
sounds like a plan.
All right, awesome. Have a good one, Steve.
You too. Bye.
All right, bye.